Aloha mai kako, a come by the curtain call, a weekly program of reviews, previews, interviews, and features of and or with the great art and artists on Maui and beyond. I'm Paul James Brown. Each year, the Hui Noeau issues an open call for artists statewide to submit proposals for its annual solo exhibition. This exhibit provides artists the opportunity to present a series of new work or explore different media and have one of the Hui's two galleries to exhibit in. This year, well-known Maui multimedia artist Zenobia Lakdawalla and Hawaii painter Sachelle Dae, who trained at UH Maui College's Atelier, Maui, were selected. Ms. Lakdawalla has presented an elegant array of work. When one enters the gallery, one is struck by the simplicity of the work. Many of them look like the minimal light sculptures of Dan Flavin. But where are the wires? Well, there are none. A closer look reveals that the light comes from the artist's understanding of the, quote, luminescence and chromicity of color, unquote. Look at these three pieces entitled Reflecting Pole 1, 2, and 3. These are wood, acrylic paint, and stainless steel. The stainless steel is reflective, and the colors you see are the results of the blend of the colors reflected in the steel. Those are not light tubes, they are painted wooden poles. In Wheel of Color, she uses the colors and reflective light on the triangular form to create the pale colors seen on the wall. That is colored light from a reflection. It is not pale paint on the surface. She's done the same thing here with this wood and acrylic work, Light of Color. The color you see is a reflection from the triangle above it. In this wood and acrylic work, Reflex, the X is capitalized for emphasis. This is a fantastic piece. The artist has painted different colors in each segment. These combine to give this work an otherworldly glow. Note the yellow in the upper part of the X, breathtaking. She has not confined herself to work on the walls. In Reflection Stool, she has painted surfaces that reflect the colors. The artist invites the viewer to sit and reflect. She credits Charlie Zender for the fabrication of her design. The final work is this extraordinary relief print on Gampi mounted on seikishu. Seikishu is a thin, wispy, delicate Japanese paper in feel, but it has great strength for its weight, according to the Legion Paper website. These are called Line Field 1, 2, and 3. She has used a hand-hewn relief block to create these seemingly multi-hued prints. Former Hui printmaker Paul Maloney was responsible for joining the individual prints using a Japanese mounting technique. Look closely at this work, and you will see it is astonishingly complex work with countless colored blocks that blend together to create the colors one sees when one steps away. These are masterpieces. Now we come to the back gallery where Ms. Dae's paintings are hanging. Ms. Dae's work is autobiographical in content, impressionistic in style, and with a few exceptions displays a subdued palette. But she uses bright color when she wants the viewer's eye. Her medium is oil paint on linen and panel. The stories and titles attached to the works are instructive of the artist's intention. But as I have said on a number of times, this is visual art, not literature. If the artist's intention is not conveyed to the viewer in the work, then the artist is not successful. Ms. Dae's work needs no explanation. It is visually powerful, and what she is conveying is clear. As with so many successful artists, she takes the everyday and elevates it to high art. She has two pieces with slippers in them. This one, entitled Home, is oil on linen. It tells us there are three people here, two adults and a child, and they arrive from different locations. Slipper Library is also oil on linen, but in this we see singular sandals, no pairs. Still life is one of all impressionistic artists' inspirations, and Ms. Dae is no exception. Here, her subdued palette is on display. This oil on linen work is entitled Fruits from Auntie and Flowers from the Farmer's Market with 7 Conversations. Note how hushed the flowers are. Look at the light on the Heliconia rostrata and the light on the tablecloth. It is clear what Ms. Dae wants the viewer to see. In this oil on panel still life, Everyone Loves Flowers, the viewer will note the same tablecloth, this time covering a smaller table. Here Ms. Dae uses orange in the center of the work to bring focus to it, and the light on the pot and the table cover finish it off. From the same cloth is a magnificent oil that emphasizes the flower of the uala, which covers the midsection of the nude woman in the background who is resting among the flower of the sweet potato. The flowers are so bright, they totally upstage the nude. This oil on linen portrait lunch with Halamoni seizes the viewer's attention. Again, Ms. Dae uses subdued light on the subject. It is as if the sunlight was coming through a gap between the shade and the window in the morning. Note the scale of the cup and the stainless steel bowl and the size of her hand in relation to her head and body. Her gaze is so intense. The unusual perspective is what makes the work so unique. Artists don't just do flower still lifes, but they often do fruit. Here is an oil on panel.
Wild Maya.
Here again, Ms. Dae plays with perspective. Look how prominent the stem where the banana was severed from the tree is. See how she placed the banana plant on two different backgrounds. Where the bananas are, it has no patterns. But the shadows and where the flower is, there is a pattern. Also, she has placed the bunch of bananas on a table in no space. Behind the bananas is just a swirl of color. Masterful. This is Kano Makes a Lei, an absolute masterpiece oil on panel. The viewer can see the subject is outdoors and among flowers, but they are not the focus. They appear almost like an afterthought. The subject is the woman sitting semi-cross-legged making a lei. Here Ms. Dae uses the light on the hat and the dress, not as the focus, but to bring one's eye to the intensity of the concentration of the woman on her work. It is a great piece. One of the most unusual of Ms. Dae's paintings is this oil on linen, Friends Who Give You Fruit. This one is high up on the front wall of the gallery, and you might miss it. It is the most surrealistic work in her show. Again, it is a nude reclining in a bucolic setting. The fruits float around her, and when I first looked at it, the face is clear, and it almost looks like it is a sculpture from Mount Rushmore. And the rest of the torso are hills and mountains. The red on the lower right of the work draws the eye, but it is not clear what it is. A most fascinating piece. Finally, we come to the most distinctive work of all of Ms. Dae's, this oil on linen lunch bunch. Here, Ms. Dae uses clarity to bring emphasis with blurred horizontal brushstrokes to provide action and motion. One can almost hear the children exclaiming about the food. In the lower left of the work is a little light-haired girl whose face is the clearest in the piece, and she seizes the viewer's eye as she reaches for lumpia. There is one girl sitting alone in the upper right corner of the painting. She appears to be far away from the others because of the way the artist has portrayed her. She is so small. However, when one looks at the foreground, the room is not as big as how far away she looks. Ms. Dae is a young artist, talented, whose skill is readily apparent. I look forward to her continued growth and other works. The Hui Solo Exhibition 2024, Sachelle Dae and Zenobia Lakdawalla, continues until May 17th, Tuesday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Hui Noyao, 2841 Baldwin Avenue, Makawa. Ms. Dae will do a walkthrough on Thursday, April 11th at 5 p.m., and Ms. Lakdawalla's walkthrough will be the following Thursday, the 18th at 5 p.m. It's a marvelous exhibit by two completely different, exceptional artists. Put it on your calendar. Well, that's Curtain Call for this week. I'm Paul James Brown. Maui strong. Ahui ho.